The Girl Who Chases Stars. Chapter 1 Guidance of the Star. Section 1 Mika and the Night Sky Stars. Mika lived in a small apartment tucked away in a corner of the city. Every night, she had a routine of lying on her narrow bed and gazing up at the night sky outside her window. The sky was filled with countless twinkling stars, and their light was Mika's only solace. By looking at the stars, she could temporarily forget about the loneliness at school and the problems at home. Among all the stars, one in particular captivated Mika's heart. It shone brighter than the others, almost as if it were watching over her. Mika had named this star Subaru. Sometimes, she would talk to Subaru about her worries and dreams. Gradually, Subaru became an increasingly important presence in Mika's heart. However, one night, as Mika was gazing at Subaru as usual, the star suddenly grew brighter and streaked across the night sky like a shooting star. Mika's heart raced with surprise and excitement. She instinctively felt that Subaru was signaling something special. Section 2 Witnessing the Shooting Star. After Subaru disappeared as a shooting star, Mika stood by the window for a while, stunned. A strong urge seized her to find out where that star had fallen. Wrapped in a mysterious feeling, she felt that she should go search for that place. It wasn't just curiosity, it was a conviction that something important was waiting for her. The next day, even on her way to school, Mika couldn't get the night's event out of her head. She unfolded a map and carefully considered the direction where Subaru had vanished. She looked at the map over and over again to determine where the star might have fallen. That night, Mika stood by the window once more and looked up at the sky. But Subaru was no longer there. Despite her unease, she made up her mind. She believed that by embarking on a journey to chase the star, she might discover something about herself. Section 3 The Decision to Chase the Star. Mika firmly decided to set out on an adventure to find where the star had fallen. Without telling her family, she packed a few belongings into her backpack and left home before dawn. Despite feeling anxious about her decision, she kept reassuring herself in her heart, saying, "I'm sure Subaru will guide me." She walked through the still sleeping city and headed towards the suburbs. The place where the star seemed to have fallen was far away, and the journey looked long, but she wasn't afraid. Instead, her heart swelled with anticipation of stepping into the unknown. Thus began Mika's journey. Section 4 The Beginning of the Journey. The first place Mika visited after leaving town was a sprawling green forest. Away from the hustle and bustle of the city, she spent her first night in nature. She rested under a large tree and looked up at the night sky. In the forest, the stars shone much more vividly than those she had seen in the city. Guided by the starlight, Mika ventured deeper into the forest the next day. Though a mix of anxiety and expectation filled her, her steps were steady. With each step into the unknown world, Mika felt herself growing stronger. Having overcome the initial loneliness and anxiety of the journey, Mika's heart danced with excitement for the new worlds she was about to encounter. Chapter 2 Mysterious Encounters. Section 5 A Friend in the Forest. As Mika continued through the forest, she began to feel gradually tired. Walking among the trees seemed endless, and there were moments when she felt lonely in this vast forest. Just then, something suddenly darted across the edge of her vision. Mika stopped and focused her eyes. There stood a small animal. It looked like a fox, but had a mysterious aura that set it apart from ordinary animals. The fox's eyes sparkled like stars as it gazed intently at Mika. "Hello," Mika greeted, and the fox slowly approached her. To her surprise, the fox opened its mouth and quietly began to speak. "Are you chasing a star?" the fox asked. Mika was startled but quickly nodded. "Yes, I saw a shooting star and I'm looking for it," she replied. The fox smiled slightly and said, "I'll help you look for that star." And so, Mika continued her journey with this mysterious fox. Gaining a new friend eased her anxiety about the journey and warmed her heart. Section 6 The Legendary Star. As Mika and the fox continued their journey, they came across an old stone monument in the forest. Something was engraved on it, and Mika tried to read it. But it was written in ancient characters she couldn't understand. "This tells of an old legend," the fox explained. There's a legend that a special star descends into this forest. It's said that the star has the power to grant wishes. Mika listened to the story with great interest. The power to grant wishes? Is that about Subaru? She asked. The fox nodded. Perhaps. But to obtain the star's power, one must overcome trials. That's the lore passed down in this forest. Mika engraved those words into her heart. She began to realize that finding Subaru was not just about searching for something, but was a journey with a much deeper meaning. Section 7 Those Who Seek the Star. During their journey, Mika and the fox encountered a group exuding an eerie atmosphere. They were cloaked in black robes and silently surrounded Mika and the fox. The leader stepped forward and spoke in a cold voice. Are you also after that star? Mika tensed up for a moment, but the fox gently stepped in front of her. We are searching for the star, but we do not intend to misuse it. We are here to protect it. The man sneered and continued. Whoever obtains the star's power can control this world. We cannot let you have it. Despite feeling fear, Mika steeled her resolve in her heart. She vowed not to let them have Subaru's power, to protect it at all costs. The fox also decided to fight alongside Mika. Section 8 The Secret of the Star. After narrowly escaping the confrontation with the robed group, Mika and the fox ventured deeper into the forest. There, they discovered a luminous spring. At the center of the spring stood a beautiful pillar of light, as if it had descended from the sky. The fox approached the spring and quietly said, "This is where the star descended to the earth. The secret of the star is hidden in this spring." Mika peered into the spring. Reflected on the water's surface was the image of Subaru, which once shone in the sky. But more than that, she felt directly in her heart how immense Subaru's power was and what could be achieved with it. Mika was overwhelmed by the greatness of that power, but also deeply contemplated how it should be used. She questioned herself about how she should handle this power, and what she had been chasing Subaru for. Chapter 3 Wishes and Decisions. Section 9 The Final Trial. With an understanding of Subaru's power, Mika and the fox continued their journey. As Mika pondered how to use this power, she spent more time reflecting on her own heart. What did she truly desire? That was her greatest question. Eventually, Mika emerged into a vast plain. In the center stood a giant rock, and atop it gleamed a fragment of the star. Reaching it was Mika's final trial. However, as she approached the rock, a powerful wind nearly blew her away. The wind was cold, chilling her to the bone. Even so, Mika pressed forward step by step. Within her was the determination and courage she had gained throughout her journey. The fox, too, encouraged her by her side. You can do it. If your heart is strong, you can overcome this trial. Mika mustered her last bit of strength and finally reached the top of the rock, where the star fragment shone. At that moment, the wind ceased, and the plain was enveloped in silence. Mika held the star fragment in her hand, feeling a deep sense of relief. Section 10 A Conversation with the Star. Holding the star fragment, Mika sensed its power. The fragment was warm, and it seemed to speak directly to her heart. Mika closed her eyes and began a conversation with the fragment in her mind. What is it that you truly desire? The fragment gently asked. Mika hesitated for a moment, but the answer soon surfaced in her heart. What she truly wished for was not to see the wide world, but to live happily with the people she loved. Through her journey chasing the star, Mika had faced her inner self and realized what was truly important. I want my loved ones to be happy. I want to use this power not for myself, but for everyone, Mika conveyed in her heart. The fragment emitted a warm light, accepting her decision. Section 11 The Decision to Release the Star. Looking up at the sky with the star fragment in hand, Mika decided not to use its power for herself but to release it. In that instant, the fragment grew brighter and gently floated out of her hand into the sky. Mika watched with a smile as the fragment rose high into the sky. It returned among the stars, once again shining as Subaru. Its light glowed warmly and gently, as if expressing gratitude to Mika. Thank you, Subaru. Because of you, I was able to find what is truly important, Mika murmured. The fox also smiled, praising Mika's decision. You have a truly strong and kind heart. That's why Subaru trusted you. Filled with gratitude, Mika looked up at the night sky, where Subaru had returned. Her heart was now filled with a stronger sense of fulfillment and hope for the future than ever before. Section 12, A New Beginning. Mika ended her journey and returned to town. Her heart was filled with an unprecedented sense of stability and invaluable experiences. Reuniting with her family and friends, she reaffirmed how much she cherished them. At night, Mika sat by the window as usual and gazed up at the night sky. Subaru was shining there once again. But Mika no longer felt the need to chase that star. She realized that it was important to shine in the place where